All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Stephen Wu, and today I will be your REDCap teacher. Um, Today's topic is beginner's branching logic. We're not going to go too deep into the details. We're going to cover the surface and kind of get into just kind of the basics of what you need. Um, Usually, a lot of people don't use branching logic for too much other than to hide and show certain fields in their project. So this video will kind of just cover the basics so that people can kind of use what they need. Later on, we'll get into more advanced things. Branching logic is very powerful, and it really extends what REDCap itself can do. Now, let's see. Let me do this real quick. See if I can get this to work too. And all right, straight into the project. So I guess to kind of start off, we can ask, why would you use branching logic? One of the biggest uses for branching logic is to hide or show items in a REDCap project. But on top of that, branching logic kind of helps provide extra functionality to maybe emulate some behavior that you might be interested in, but isn't available in REDCap. For instance, you can use it to show alerts, or maybe sometimes in the past we've done some complicated numbering system, which is now implemented in REDCap. But in the past, we've had to make some of this stuff on our own, and we've made a lot of things with branching logic. You have a lot of power at your hands, and branching logic can really help extend a lot of the functionality in REDCap itself. So to start off, I guess we can give a quick demo of branching logic. So what I'll do is come here, and then we can preview this instrument. Come down here, and you'll see that we have a yes or no question. And then immediately after, it's enter a number, and then it'll calculate. So what we can do here is click no, nothing happens. We click yes, still nothing happens. So now we have to go in and hit some sort of number, and voila, nothing happened. So to figure out what's going on, what we can do is come down here and see that branching logic exists. Come in here, and this field shows only if yes or no is 0. And this is yes or no, yn, the variable. Come in here, and no is 0. Come back up, preview, and we can go with no, and it should evaluate. Do it this way. So add a new record, come in here, and you have no number, right? So click yes, nothing shows up. Click no, and there we go. Finally got number. And then we have a calculated field. But that's for later. Now, if we click yes, you get an error because it says that there's a value in here, and if yes or no is not no, then this should be empty, right? So click OK, and it disappears again. We click no, it comes back. Now, we don't need this anymore because this was just a demo, so I'm not going to save it. And we can just come back in, project setup, online designer, and then back into the instrument that I want to use. And we can kind of create our own branching logic just to familiarize ourselves with how to use it. Now, before you actually dive into doing any branching logic, there is some structuring that you need to think about. One of the big things with this is that it can get kind of confusing at times. So it might work well to write everything you want to happen on a piece of paper first. Maybe have some sort of branching chart or tree, some kind of tree that shows where, from one variable to another. It makes things easier and not as confusing. Now, I guess we can just jump right into it. Let's just add a field, right? Let's say we have a question about food. So, what is your favorite food? Assign a variable name, food, and we need choices. So we can have, let's do burger, oops, can't type, pizza, pasta, anything you guys want to add? Let's see. Salad, perfect. There we go. So we have burger, pizza, pasta, salad, right? I'll save this. Now, when you really think about it, though, there's, many different types of burgers, right? Hamburger, cheeseburger, many different types of pizza, cheese, pepperoni. Just each food group can break off into even more granular selections. So to start off, let's say you need to decide between a hamburger or a cheeseburger. All right, we'll go in and add a field. It will be another radio button and, burger type. We'll just call it that. And then variable burger type. And then the choice will be hamburger. It's just plain or cheeseburger. Save this. Now, let's say that when you're taking the survey, or when you want someone to take a survey, after they click burger, then burger type pops up. But if they didn't select burger type or burger, then it shouldn't pop up. That way, it kind of removes clutter. Well, this is where branching logic comes in. To add branching logic, what you need to do is go to the variable that you want to be hidden or shown. So for instance, this one, burger type, click on the branching logic field. And there's two ways we can do this. We can use the advanced branching logic syntax, which I'll give you a quick demo of, and also the drag and drop builder. It's really quick, really simple, and really makes life a lot easier for a lot of people that aren't as familiar with some of the syntax that REDCap uses. So I guess we'll just go start off with drag and drop logic builder. Now, if we come back here, we need to remember that we want this to show up only when the food type is burger. So in the branching logic drag and drop builder, I scroll down and here's food and here's burger, right? So we only want the food to show up, or the burger type to show up when food is burger. So save this, and we've added branching logic. So to kind of test this out, we can come up here, go to the record, add a new record, and scroll down. What is your favorite food? Pizza? Good, nothing showed up. Pasta? Nothing showed up. Salad? Nothing showed up. And burger. There we go. Hamburger and cheeseburger. So if you imagine a survey that's really long, some people have very, very long surveys. This can be very useful because sometimes they just want to remove clutter. And sometimes, for some doctors or some research people, they might only need fields to show up when they need to type in a value. Is this person taking a drug? Yes. Okay, then I need this field to pop up, and then I can enter dosage amount. So it's a very good use case. Now let's come back in and just go leave without saving changes. Go back to Online Designer, first survey, first instrument, and we'll go ahead and add fields for pizza, pasta, and salad, just to kind of reiterate what we've been doing. Pizza type, and do pizza type, and cheese, pepperoni, and supreme. I guess we'll just throw in Hawaiian. I don't know how to spell Hawaiian. Use spell check.
Yeah, I don't either.
There we go. Yep. So save this, and then we'll go in and add branching logic again. So I need this field to show up only when the food selection is pizza. So pizza, save, here we go. Now let's go ahead and add it in for pasta too. But this time we'll do it a bit different. This time we'll use the advanced builder, right? Pasta type, pasta type, Alfredo, and I guess spaghetti and meatballs. Save this, and I will go ahead and add the salad. Salad type, so we have okay, had a glitch there. Chicken salad, and I guess pasta salad. That might be weird, but those are the only things I can think of. Save it. Okay. Now we'll go back in again and add branching logic. This time with the advanced logic builder, right? So this time we'll select this. Now the way this works, it's a bit different if you're doing certain things. For instance, let's just start off with what we have right now. To do it for the food type, we need to come in and know two things. One, we need to know the variable name, and two, we need to know the coded value for each selection type. So 0, 1, 2, 3. This is important because we'll be using it almost as soon as we get into the branching logic builder. So we know 0, burger, pizza, 1, pasta, 2, salad, 3. So we'll come in here to the branching logic, and this is the syntax for it. So you do bracket food or variable name, bracket equals, and then selection type. Since this is for, let's see what this is for. This is for pasta type, then we know that the selection should be 2 and salad is 3. So we'll come back into pasta type, and let's do that again. So food equals 2. Save. And we'll test this after I add this field. Food equals 3. Save. And branching logic exists. So we'll come back in, preview, and then add a new record. And if you guys remember before, in the previous demonstration, when I went in to preview the instrument, When I click pizza, pasta, and salad, nothing showed up. But this time, pizza, pizza type, pasta, pasta type, and salad, salad type. And it works in burger. So I'm glad the advanced logic worked. Oh, and then this is because I selected a value. And pasta worked. So it's not as hard as it seems to use the advanced logic, but sometimes it might be easier to use just a drag and drop so you can see everything. Um, but the good thing is if you remember for burger and pizza type, we did the drag and drop method. You come back in, you'll see that it automatically turns into the advanced syntax. So basically, when you use the drag and drop logic builder, it automatically creates the advanced syntax for you. So that way, when you come in, you have the advanced syntax anyways. So that's why it's good to know kind of how to do both. But if you ever get confused, don't be afraid to use the drag and drop. A lot of us at the REDCap team use drag and drop a lot. It doesn't look as cool, but it's a lot easier. Now, one last thing that I need to touch on is the difference between a checkbox and the radio button for branching logic. Now, this gets kind of complicated because it just is. If you come into this, for instance, some people might like burger and pizza, but with the radio button, it only allows you to select one. Now, if I come in here and change it to checkbox, this way we can select multiple ones. But if we go back and demo this or preview the instrument, add a new record, you'll see that it says that there's branching logic errors, right? And that is because, I'll show you in a second, these are all coded for the radio buttons. It doesn't work for oh man, it doesn't work for checkboxes. So what we have to do is we have to come back to your instrument and edit. Let me just refresh this to make sure everything's up to date. Okay, so we have to edit this to work for checkboxes. Now, this is where it gets kind of funky, right? I mentioned for radio buttons, this is how you code for the advanced branching logic. Well, for clear logic, for checkboxes, it's a bit different. If we come to food type and I drag out burger, you'll notice in the advanced branching logic, it's different. We have a parentheses 0 between the brackets. So what this says is for food type, option 0 or selection 0, which was the burger, if it's checked, then show. So it's a bit different, right? So imagine this. Just imagine that this one question is broken down into 4 different questions. What is your favorite food? Is it burger? Is it pizza? Is it pasta? Is it salad? And then each one is basically a yes/no question. And that's how REDCap combines everything together. So if we come back to this one, and we'll customize this a little bit, we need food, option 1, the first option in food, and if it displays, which is what the 1 means yes. If we want it checked, or if we want it to show when it's checked, then yeah, it works. And then if we do it for this one is food, option 2, and then this needs to be changed from a 2 to a 1. And then for this one, food, option 3, and then it only works if it's a 1, save. And then we can come back in, and we were having errors before. Let's see what happens when I refresh this page. It looks like the errors are gone. So click burger, burger pops up. Pizza, pizza also pops up. Pasta, and salad. And this way you can, select multiple things, and sometimes this might be the better option, sometimes it might not be. But for the most part, you really need to sit down and kind of plan out your project and know what you want to happen. It's a good idea to have all that written down or planned out beforehand. Or you could just jump in and test it. But it might pull you through a bunch of iterations. So today, I'll just add in a few more things before I go. But before I get to that, does anyone have any questions? Anything that might be confusing? Oh.
Nope.
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and jump into the last segment of this tutorial. One thing that I really want to touch on before I go is using branching logic with longitudinal items, and also using branching logic across instruments. So one thing that's kind of confusing sometimes is, you might ask, oh, what if I need this to show up only when it's in the next instrument? For instance, if we add in a question, I'm just going to make this real quick. Read a button. Will this show up in the next instrument? And then I'll just make the variable name next. 0, no, 1, yes. And I want this to show up only when it's selected. And right now I have nothing, so let's do a text box. And this is the second instrument, the new instrument. I'm adding a text box. Only shows if yes is selected. Yes. Can't have exclamation. Too excited. And I need to come in, and it's really simple. Again, you can choose which instrument. This kind of breaks it down to so you know how to find it much more easily. And I need to find my next question. So do I want it to show up? Yes. And if you notice, it's really just the same for advanced branching logic. Just remember the variable, and then since it's a radio type question, then it's just the selection, right? Save this, and then we can preview it. Add a new record, and this is the first instrument. Select yes, save record, ignore and go to next one, and it shows up. Now if we go back, click no, save record, and it's gone. So going between instruments is straightforward and simple. And last but not least, we will do longitudinal. Now, I'm only going to briefly go over this. I'm not going to show a demonstration of it because this might drag on the tutorial. To really work with this, you need an in-depth knowledge of how to use REDCap with longitudinal data, and you need to know your project. So that's not really something I can show. If you have questions or need help with this, then please feel free to submit a big request, and we can definitely work with you one-on-one or with your team to work on this. But just as a quick demonstration, well, not really a demonstration, but it's really simple to do branching logic between longitudinal models. All you have to do is take the name of the unique event name, right? Come back to the project setup, and it would be, let's just do burger type. For this, all you would need to do, and I don't know why it disappeared, is add a bracket, the event name, and bracket, and that's it. The only issue with this, though, is that burger will show up no matter, where it is, but only for if this specific event item is selected. So, just as an example, if you have multiple different events, so you have event 1, 2, and 3, and I did this, if 1 is selected, then show up. But if you come into 2 and try and select the option for 2, it's not going to show up in the instrument for right here. And that's where this gets confusing, and you kind of have to know the specifics of your project. And that's why, if you guys have questions, please feel free to contact us. Submit a big request. It's go.vcu.edu/big request. I can throw that up real quick. Okay, go.big, or email us. And we'll help you with your project. Does anyone have any questions today?
Nope.
All right. Well, I think that'll be it for today. If anyone has any questions, once again, please feel free to contact us. We're always here to help, and as such, next week we'll have another tutorial. I believe same day, same time, but we'll send out an email to tell or alert when. You can also go for help at vic.ccpr.vcu.edu. These are all resources that we provide, and we're trying to provide a lot more resources. This video will be posted online, so if you ever need to come back for reference, please feel free to check it out. And if there are no questions, then I hope everyone has a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.